सबसे पहले मैं माँ सरस्वती को याद करूँगा, अपने गुरुओं को भी याद करूँगा, आप सबके गुरु को भी याद करूँगा। भाई अमित, लेकिन मेरे अब डिस्प्ले है, मैं बुल्लानी, SRGs who have come from the different institutions of Madhya Pradesh, and dear DRGs, the fellow members, the most important member of my team. Again, first person, singular number, please. लघुता ते प्रभुता मिले, प्रभुता ते प्रभु दूर, चिट्ठी सब कर ले चली, हाथी के सिर दो. At times it creates some sort of confusion in our minds. The persons who are sitting on this side, persons who are sitting on that side, never makes a difference. But it makes a difference when we identify our role as a teacher. First of all, because if in the beginning of my career as a teacher, I got 2 jobs. And this job I opted. That's why I live it, I love it. The second thing that Sanat, I usually call him, because really that is Laghuta Te Prabhuta Mile. These are not mere lines for me. I live it like this. I live it and I try to at least live within those lines. And again, Vijay, again there is a Ramcharitmanas I started studying as a language textbook. To be very frank, I should say, and the beginning lines, I love those lines. That is, Varnanam Arth Sanghanam, Varnanam Arth Sanghanam, Rasanam. We forget, we as teachers of a language which is a bit challenging for us to teach. Varnanam, okay. Arth Sanghanam, this much. But there is a no Rasana. And then Chandasamapi, teaching poetry means teaching them and telling them the meaning. It's nothing like that. Not this person who is standing in front of you today is going to say it on the beliefs of the who has learned as a teacher. But I have also read so many research papers. Rasanam is very big. So at least think over it 100 times before we go to the class. 100 times. Friends, one day in the same hall I told you that we don't build automobiles, fans and chairs and tables. We prepare human beings. And preparation of human being, it needs that kind of understanding. 100 times we think before going to the class and saying something. A good teacher is also, we should always mind it that we should also be a good human. Only a good human can be a good teacher. Who always believe in this, what we call the Laghuta. Simplicity. Not the kind of cloth we wear, not the kind of houses we live in, but the kind of thinking that we have developed during all these years. Not for us, not for our families, but for those kids who are ready to come to our institutions and learn a language that is going to help them a lot in future. Again, it reminds me, I started, these are the beginning lines, and again I was stuck when there you kind like Sundarkand. प्रवीष नगर की जय सब काजा, हृदय राख कोसलपुर राजा, गरुड़ सुधारित करहि मिताई, गोपद सिंधु कंडल सितलाई, गरुड़ सुमेरु रेणु संताई, राम कृपा कर चितवा जाई, अति लघु रूप धरे हनुमान, अति लघु रूप. Laghuta is very, very important. Our fellow members are going to, they are the teachers, they may feel offended. Okay, man, you have come and you are going to teach me. That is, again, a big question. there are two things in life, and this I am saying on the basis of reading of certain challenges related to soft skills and soft skills related to human resource management. I read some research papers based on this. Sitting in LTI is not sitting in a room. Sitting in LTI is not sitting at the top. Sitting in the LTI, it never means like this. That sitting at the state level and doing this and that. So, on the basis of that research paper, I can tell you there are two things in life, human life. In management of this human resource, two things it matters. One is statics. Statics, there is a physics, there is a metaphysics. Life begins with metaphysics. Not even a single children, they come to this world and they start laughing and their family members again, and he or she never speaks meaningful sentences. Just a simple cry and celebration is there. So, language learning begins from there itself. It's not Vivekananda's philosophy that tells us that it's the manifestation of perfection already reached in man. But again, he says that for the classroom processes, a true teacher is he who can easily come down to the level of the students. That day, what I could read out of that Paolo Coelho, the novelist who wrote Alchemist, I could draw out that not on the basis of the lines that are there, but on the basis of my reading. Whatever I speak here, it's not my effort, it's the effort of the persons who are listening to me. One day I am going to tell you all a very simple event. One day, my uncle, the father of Sri Saksinaji, was attending some program of Sajma. And I was also there in that program. I was also there in that program because my daughter performed well and I was also asked to be there. Two IS officers were there, Sachin Sinha sir and Ashok sir. And uncle was also there. But when I was asked to just speak something, I felt that someone is listening and I spoke like that. I spoke like that. And one day, we were not known to each other. But Amit again told me, sir, my father was asking that. And the quality of teaching, the quality of speeches, the quality of classroom, interactions, the quality of classroom teaching, it never depends on the persons who are on that side, but the persons who are on that side. It becomes the quality of persons. And I have not only this, these are not this was the first thing I read this then that, on the basis of that I am not sharing, but this was my idea that someone is listening to me and I should speak sense. So whenever we are in the classroom, we must speak sense. The statics is, as a human being, as a good teacher, we should always remain sensible. Only statics again begins with this, and remember this is, we should always remain sensible because learners are there. They need our support. They are going to at least learn something and learn something that is a bit challenging for them. Number two is dynamics. Dynamics is, whenever we are in classroom, delivery must be done on the basis of preparation that we have done. We prepare this and that, it never matters. On the basis of delivery, it needs a distinct delivery. One day I was talking to my fellow members and I told them that a good teacher should be like a good mother. Like a mother, it will work. Never ask a question like this, that I'm a male, I'm a female. She prepares the food according to the taste of her kids. Everything is there. textbook is there, manual is there, everything is there. But how to prepare it and how to deliver it, it matters much. And again, I am very much thankful to my fellow members who are here. That Amit was trying to just tell that these skills are to be followed. A good classroom teaching, a good English classroom teaching should contain something of listening, something of speaking, something of reading, and something of writing also. If we are going to just pay proper attention to these 4 basic skills, maybe today my students, and we can begin with, India is a bit different institution, not because I am the head of this institution, but it's a different institution because so many persons are just working for the cause of English, for the cause of language. We'll never teach English for just at the cost of our mother tongues. Our mother tongues they are of immense importance. They are of immense, their importance is this much. That is, it can remind me of the निज भाषा उन्नत है भारतेंदु जी, निज भाषा उन्नत है सब उन्नत के मूल. So all languages are to be protected. अर्थ ज्ञानार्थ शब्द प्रयोग, अर्थ ज्ञानार्थ शब्द प्रयोग. So we are supposed to be teaching English not at the cost of our mother tongue, but a language that is a bit challenging for them. The second thing, that is, the dynamics is, that is classroom delivery must begin with, that is motivation. Motivation is very good. Encouragement is very, very important. And encouragement is going to pave the way. That is how they can learn, and they can not only learn, but in their turn too, they can create miracles. You may ask a simple question, Mr. Pandey, how can you say all this? Today morning, I was learning Malayalam from my grandson. Nanaji, do you know what we call this and that? I was learning Malayalam. Today, every day he comes with some words, and he teaches me this word, that word, this expression, that expression. This is how we improve, we learn languages. And again, Amit has rightly suggested that if you really want to remain young, start learning languages. Start learning languages, those languages that are a bit challenging for me. I want to learn more and more languages. So, teaching a language is itself a matter of great privilege. And teaching a language like English is a bit not only challenging, but it also adds to our caliber as a teacher. A teacher, a creative teacher. A kid teacher, a perfect teacher. And that perfectness can't communicate. It can reminds me of Sanats, that is Sanat. Usually means I'm praising him because most of the time he says this and that, and most of his creative work most of the time due to the lack of time, I can't just respond to all, but at times means he is so pure of man like this, that putting things this one that and any kind of dramatization he has learned. But this is one of the capacity of a teacher. That is, it can reminds me of Gita. That is, Asansaya Mahabhavo Manodurnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu kaun tera. See the motivation is there. Abhyasena tu kaun tera. Vairagya sa grahate. A teacher should be Vairagya sa grahate. Rag. Say no to rag if you are a teacher. Say yes to. That is certain statics. Remain sensible at any cost. Asking questions. First ask yourself a few questions and then go to the class, ask a few questions. Friends, I really means I'm very much thankful to you all that you are doing a wonderful job. You are doing a wonderful job, not only for the cause of English, but for the cause of language. Not only adding certain things to the rather wings of our students, but it can remind me of one idiom. That is, if you are going to the classroom, always remember that you can find our students on the cloud, on cloud 9. On cloud 9. इसके बाद गूगल करिएगा देखिएगा on cloud 9 का मतलब क्या है. And if you are going to play a role of a teacher, again, if your students are over the moon, only then you can tell that yes, I am a teacher, I can teach well. Otherwise, we are supposed to at least introspect a bit, at least assess a bit, and then go to the class. So again, one important point I would not like to just forget to mention, that is, हमारे जब वहाँ से आते हैं साथी लोग 5-5 दिन में, उनके रिफ्लेक्शंस जरूर आपको रहेंगे. उनके अपने रिफ्लेक्शंस क्या? रिफ्लेक्शन क्या? बच्चों के रिफ्लेक्शंस जो अपने अगले बार आते हैं, तो उनको रिफ्लेक्शंस बुलाइए और वो रिफ्लेक्शंस को हमें शेयर करें. So that ultimately, and the last thing that I am going to tell you all is pay proper attention to reading. Reading is going to support you in a big way. Not because my name begins with R and reading begins with R. But reading is going to pave the way. Reading is going to pave the way for listening when the teacher is reading aloud. Reading is going to pave the way when the students are repeating after the teacher. Reading is going to pave the way when the say eyes to see, ears to hear, a clear mind, no fear. That day I talked about that concept of being fearless. Eyes to see, ears to hear, a clear mind, no fear. Hands to work, legs to work. Almighty has given us a task to become a nice human being. So, and the share of reading should be like 50% at least, 50%. 20% reading and writing can go. Again, that is 20 plus, that is 70, 15 and 15 listening and speaking can be. But this way, at least reading should be gain 50%. Not on the basis of what I want to say, being a member of ELTI, being sitting in Rajya Shiksha Kendra, but this is on the basis of research papers. I have read so many research papers. I can tell you that reading should be paid at least 50% of the share, so that ultimately we can not only get the things get improved in the field, but we can also call it, yes, I'm a teacher, I'm a language teacher, I'm an English language teacher. Thank you and thank you all.